Hi there! I am frequently asked how to get started with real estate investing and the steps involved in successfully purchasing an income-producing property. If you are new here, this channel is about investing in cash flow real estate, growing your wealth, and achieving your financial independence. My name is Corey Ann, and I achieved my financial independence when I was 35 by investing consistently in cash flow rental properties over the 8 years. If you have not subscribed yet, then make sure to subscribe so you will not miss our future videos. Here are the 10 steps. Step number 1, pay off your debts with high interest rates. Why is it important to consider paying off your loan balance? It is because most of the time, the interest rate for these loans can range as high as 17% or even up to 24%, depending on the credit services you have. I do not believe that when you invest in property, you will get this kind of return in the first few years. You may get 17 to 24% returns when you hold your property for at least 5 years or more, because the longer you hold on to your property, the higher home price will increase. And this also depending on how to select the right real estate market to invest. And in some real estate markets can be higher than the general inflation rate that's average about 2 to 3% per year. The second important reason is that when you have an outstanding balance, each of your personal debt monthly payment amounts will be added to your debt-to-income ratio calculations when the loan agent uses it to qualify you for a mortgage. So the higher your monthly debt payment, the less loan amount that you can borrow. And step number 2 is save 6 to 9 months emergency fund. It is important to put an emergency fund away because once you invest in cash flow real estate, it's a hard asset and it will take a while to sell it if and when you need the money due to some emergency, and that can happen along our lives, like medical incidents or job transitions, or even in case when your tenants lose a job and cannot pay them the rent for a couple of months, then you will have the fund to cover expenses as needed. Think long term when it comes to real estate investments. Therefore, you have to plan for the unexpected events. As you gain more experience in the real estate investing over time, you will start to have other options that you can pivot quickly to access your fund from other sources. But at the beginning of your investment journey, it's wise to plan a little more conservatively and grow your real estate portfolio gradually and surely. And step number 3 is invest in yourself. The best place to start is to start by learning. Once you learn, you can decide which real estate investment strategy is right for you. Be laser focused on this one strategy. Here are the most common strategies are wholesaling, fix and flip, subject to, owner finance and house hack, and buy and hold for building wealth. Each strategy will involve different activities, and you must understand each of them well and decide which one fits you best based on your financial situation as well as your time commitment. You can still do wholesaling and then turn your wholesale property into a long-term buy and hold property. As for myself, I already had my income from my career, and I know that the buy and hold strategy fits best for me because I was looking to build some cash flow in the beginning years and then capture the appreciation 2 to 3% annually for building generational wealth. In addition, my tenants pay down my mortgage balance, while I receive tax depreciation incentive as long as I hold on to my investments. Step number 4 is get a loan pre-approval for an investment property. Even you plan to use other people's money, it's good to know when you stand with your loan options. This is a great way to plan for the long term in buying more income producing properties. You only need to pay for a credit report, and the pre-approval is free from a local bank or a mortgage broker. Depending on how busy the loan agent that you work with, you will get your pre-approval in a few days after you submit all your financial documents. And step number 5 is find a market with strong job and population growth. Let's assume you are living in a market that has a strong job and population growth. Then you can go to this website so that you get to know your markets. Real estate investing is a localized activity, so you must understand where you invest. By localized, I meant to say that purchase price, rental values, desirability for a given neighborhood, school choices, which part of town is good for flip, and which part of town is better for buy and hold long term. And other characteristics are specific and unique for a given neighborhood or area. It may take you a few days or a few weeks to learn about a local market. Drive around the area. Every market is very different. Spending the time to learn the market that you plan to invest in. And step number 6 is underwrite your deals. Once you know your market, analyze at least one property per day. Understand the numbers. For your targeted property, say 1,500 square foot, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, what is the purchase price? Assuming your strategy is to buy and hold, what is the expected monthly rental income for that property? Typical expenses like mortgage payment, property tax, insurance, property management fee, and HOA. You need all these numbers so you can calculate your potential return on your investment, or another thing that I always mention about ROI. This is how you will decide whether to purchase a specific property. Step number 7 is work with a real estate agent for a daily listing service. The previous step will allow you to decide which neighborhood or area in the given city to focus on, as well as your purchase criteria. The next step is then to engage a real estate agent to set you up for a daily listing service to receive any property sale listing in the given area. Sometimes you may want to engage a real estate agent at the same time as you start the previous step. So a real estate agent can provide data regarding recent sale comps and rental comps. So you need to understand this data by asking your real estate agent to explain this number to you, and use this number to do your financial analysis for each property that you are going to offer. And step number 8 is start making offers. Assuming you have analyzed a lot of properties already and know what property meets your investment criteria, you are set up to get to the point of being ready to make an offer for a right investment. By the way, always have a 10 to 14 days inspection period in your offer. When your offer gets accepted, then you work closely with your real estate agent to have the property inspected by the home inspector and other inspections that needed to be done in your states. Step number 9 is time to close. Even when you make an offer, anticipate that you and the seller may always come to terms, but when you do, you are ready to close the transactions. And step number 10 is make the property ready for rental or flip. Once the transaction is closed, you are ready to prepare the property for rental. If your strategy is to buy and hold or flip, or whatever your strategy calls for, at this point, you just follow what most people just rinse and repeat. So make sure to subscribe to our future videos so you would not miss a lot of great content coming up. Ciao.